Welcome back to Filmmaking for Noobs. I'm Kyle Lawrence. Free cast and free crew. How do you go about recruiting volunteers to help with your projects? What are the practicalities behind that? And what is acceptable versus unacceptable practice? You've probably seen many posts online where people are asking for volunteers to help out for free on a film project of theirs, whether big or small. You've probably noticed that some posts get a lot of success and do a really good job of garnering a huge amount of experienced individuals to help them for free. And yet other posts seem to get completely ridiculed and insulted and laughed off of social media. I hope that this episode will provide you with some useful information to help you find lots of volunteers for your projects, but I also hope that this will help you to do so in a way that will provide real value and benefit to those who are helping you for free on your project. And I also hope that this will help you to just know how to find volunteers in a way that doesn't make you look like a fool. First of all, the realities of free labor. The reality is that when you are just starting out or when you don't have any money to spend, you're going to at some point in your life have to rely on volunteers or free labor. This can certainly be very stressful and it can end very poorly if not done correctly. It can also lead to giving you a really bad reputation and make it really hard to find other volunteers or free labor for future projects. Most people don't mind helping out for free on once in a while on a small project or for a very short time commitment. However, people can't help out for free all the time or every day. Those people still have jobs, they still have bills to pay, they still have a mortgage, and they still need time for themselves and with their family and to take care of their own things. And so it is very tricky to find volunteers for projects, and there's a lot of, kind of like a very fine line that you have to be sure to not cross. Now, I've created a number of film projects, both in Vancouver as well as in the Midwest United States. I've created film projects where I've used all volunteers, as well as film projects where I've paid cast and crew. And so what I'm sharing with you is a lot of things that I've learned through my experiences that kind of cover almost the entire spectrum, going from, filming in a big, heavy film center like Vancouver, both projects where you either have volunteer unpaid crew or where you have paid crew, versus filming in the Midwest United States where there are, very few film projects, very few and limited film opportunities available, and many people more eager to get into it and work for free, both with paid crews and unpaid crews. And so I hope that what I share with you will kind of help cover the entire spectrum of finding volunteers for your project. There are typically three types of people willing to volunteer for your projects. First, people that are looking for experience. Second, people that are looking for an upgrade or to upgrade from their current position. And third, people that know you. I'm going to touch a little bit more in depth on each of these three. First, starting with the people that are simply looking for experience. When someone has very little or no experience in film and they want to be working in film, they're usually very eager to volunteer their time for free on a project just to get their foot in the door or just to get experience and get a taste of what film is like. I'd also include anyone in this category who may have lots of experience in film, but maybe they have recently moved to a new city, or they have stepped away from film for a while and came back, and they're looking to reconnect or build a network and just get to know the film community. They're in a sense looking for that experience of working with people in that city, or networking with individuals. All that said, in order to attract this type of volunteer, you do need to have something to offer them. If it is someone who is brand new to film or has very limited experience in film, you have to be able to offer them a sense of what working in film is like. Even if it is super low budget guerrilla style, that's fine because it's maybe their first entry or taste of the film world. But if it's someone who has a lot of experience in film and they're more looking for the experience to network with other people that are actively working in film, or they're just looking to be part of a cool project, you have to be able to provide that experience that they're looking for. Like, for example, the opportunity to network with other people actively working in film, or the opportunity to work on a really cool project. If you yourself have no or very limited experience in filmmaking, maybe this is your first or second project, maybe it's just a small little project, then you're probably only going to attract other individuals who have very similarly little to no experience in film. As part of that, you're going to have to spend a little bit more time working together with your team, helping everyone to know what their role is and what needs to be done and how to do things, learning together as a team. It will probably end up being a much more collaborative process where you will grow together as filmmakers and just create something that will be more of a learning experience for all of you rather than some big high-end super commercial production. However, once you have gained some experience, some recognition, some exposure, maybe won a few awards, more experienced people become much more interested and willing to work with you to help you out for free on a small free project or a short-term project. And many times the reason why those more experienced people want to work with you is because they want to, just build up that network, be part of that community, get to know other filmmakers that are doing cool things, that are getting recognition, that are going somewhere. They want to be part of that person's journey. So the second one is people who are looking for an upgrade. They're willing to work for free because they want to upgrade from their current position in film to a higher position. In order for someone to upgrade to a higher position, they need to have experience in that higher position, but it's very difficult to get experience in that higher position if you don't already have experience in that higher position. And so usually small budget, little low budget indie films are much more willing to take that risk to hire these individuals, but this really only works for higher level positions. For example, someone who doesn't normally direct, who wants to direct, they may be willing to direct for free. Or maybe someone who is currently working as a production assistant, but they'd rather be a first AD, they're willing to do that for free. Someone who wants to be a production designer or work toward being a DP, they're willing to do those things for free to help gain the experience and the momentum that they need and the credits that they need in order to get hired on bigger jobs for those positions. Even if someone is already earning $600 a day in film industry at a lower position, they're usually more willing to volunteer their time on a project that doesn't have much money to pay the crew in exchange for getting credit and experience in a higher position that they're working toward long-term as part of their career goals. Especially if you're bringing in someone like a DP or a production designer, they are sometimes even more willing to bring in a lot of their own gear or their own crew and friends that they know for free because they know that their reputation is on the line as well. This is going to be great for your production and bring up your production value, but will also help them farther their careers. Although when you have people coming in for that sort of looking to upgrade type experience, there are a few caveats to keep in mind. A, the project needs to be something that actually has the ability to become high quality or high production value. No one wants to have some really cheesy, bad, low production value student film on their reel when they're competing at a very high and competitive level for big jobs. So you may not have much money to spend on your crew, but if you have a little bit of money that you can put toward gear and production design, it will really go a long way in instilling confidence and helping your crew to walk away with something that they can be proud of and use in their reel to help them grow in their careers as well. Secondly, along those same lines, those individuals helping out so that they can get an upgrade are going to be much more interested in seeing what you've done before. The more that you've done before and the higher quality stuff that you've done before, the easier it will be to attract experienced individuals to help you out for free on a small project. And the third caveat is this really only works with the higher up positions that people are working toward as their career goals, either long-term career goals or their next step. For example, DP, production designer, art director, set decorator, maybe even camera operator, things like that. However, a grip who's getting paid a lot of money to be a grip is not going to want to be a grip for free. A PA who's getting paid a lot of money to be a PA is not going to want to be a PA for free. But if it's a grip or a PA looking to upgrade to maybe a key grip or a location manager position, then they may be willing to be a key grip or location manager for free because, again, that points them in the right direction of their next step for an upgrade. For both of those types of individuals who are volunteering either for the experience or for the credit or the upgrade, it is very important to make sure that you are actually able to deliver and provide for them the value that you are promising. And the third type of volunteer is the type of person who is volunteering their time simply because they know you. Yes, you have these really amazing people at your disposal who are willing to help out. Maybe some of them have lots of experience in film, more so than you, and they just want to pour into your career and help you out because they are your friend or they like you, they want to see you succeed. Or maybe these are individuals that have very little experience or less experience than you, and they're just doing it because they just want to help you as a friend and support you. So yes, you have these people available to you that you can utilize for all of your projects, but it's very important to make sure that you respect their time and their energy as well. Be careful not to overuse people and ask them to help out with every project. Be very careful that you never expect or demand any of these individuals to help out with your projects. These people are very important relationships that you definitely want to take the time to foster and take care of. Be sure not to overuse them or burn them out or burn any bridges along the way. So really quickly, here are some do's and don'ts when it comes to asking for volunteers or recruiting volunteers for your projects. Always be honest and transparent about your real circumstance, situation, and resources that are available to you. If you only have $1,000 available for a 90-minute feature film, say that. Yes, a lot of people are going to laugh at that and not help, but it will help you to find the people who really are committed to seeing you succeed and seeing you find ways to make something really cool and a full 90-minute feature for a really low cost. The people that you do find will definitely appreciate knowing the full picture up front and kind of knowing what's going into the project. Always state up front what the benefit is to those who are helping. Be honest, be concise, and be clear. Are you providing a credit? State that. Are you providing meals? State that. Are you providing a coffee truck? State that. Are you providing an opportunity for them to work with and network with some really experienced individuals who are working actively in film? Then state that. But it's also important to say the names of those individuals so that potential volunteers can look them up and decide for themselves whether or not those are people they want to work with. Always be realistic about your goals. It is much better to say, hey, this is my first project. I plan to submit it to a few festivals. That's a very realistic and obtainable goal. Rather than saying something like, hey, this is my first film, but it's going to be seen by over 1 billion people, and this is going to be like a career-making, transforming thing for you and your life and your career, and you're going to get so much exposure out of this. That is not realistic. That is probably never going to happen, and it's only going to send people away from your project. So be very clear and realistic about what your goals are. If you exceed those goals, then great. But when recruiting volunteers, be very realistic about what your goals are so that people can see that, yes, this film could actually reach its goal. Always be grateful and appreciative of whatever help you do receive. Whatever team you have, whoever helps out in your project, do whatever you possibly can, as often as you possibly can, to show them your appreciation and to thank them all throughout the process, at the very beginning, all throughout it, and at the very end, every single couple minutes even, whatever you can, show your appreciation to the people that do help you out for free. And lastly, always be ready and willing to help out on their projects for free. It's the least that you can do for them giving up their time to help you with yours. And of course, a few tips on what not to do. If you're looking for volunteers, you're trying to recruit people to help out for free on your film projects, don't do these things. First of all, do not oversell the opportunity. Do not make the project sound much bigger than it really is, because you're asking people to give up their time for free for your project. They will feel deceived, they will feel let down and disappointed, and they will not want to work with you, or they will probably walk out halfway through when they realize that this is not anything near what they were promised. Secondly, do not offer future employment opportunities. Yes, of course, that is a real possibility, and yes, of course, you probably want to work with the same people again if they're great to work with, but this is a promise that filmmakers have time and time again offered and promised and failed to deliver on. It has just become a red flag that when this is offered, people are like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. So just stay away from offering future lucrative opportunities. Just say, here's the project. Do you want to help? Yes or no. Do not offer exposure to people. This is another really big red flag that when anyone sees a post offering exposure in exchange for, free help, they always know it's not worth their time. Your small project may get seen by maybe 100 people on your YouTube channel, maybe 1,000, maybe 10,000, maybe even 100,000 people, but none of that is really going to give a grip or a gaffer any real beneficial exposure from your project. And so therefore it's best to just not use the word exposure at all when looking for volunteers. Also, do not expect or demand anything. Remember, you are already asking a really big thing, asking people to give up their time for free for your project. You're the one benefiting, not them. Do not expect anything from them. No one is required to help with your project. No one owes you anything. In fact, you owe all of them everything because they're the ones who make your project a reality. So be very careful when you are looking for volunteers, recruiting people to help you out. Do not ever expect anyone to help out for free. Do not ever demand anyone to help you out for free. Be very careful to remember that this is your project that you're benefiting from, and anything that they do to help you is a plus for you. Also, do not promise profit sharing. This is yet another one of the many promises that many failed filmmakers have failed to deliver on, and it's just become another red flag that everyone promises it and no one gets it. And so anytime someone sees a post offering profit sharing for someone's first or second or little tiny independent project, they usually know that it's something that they should pass on because it's probably not going to go anywhere. What's better is if your project really does have that potential, then it's better just to surprise your crew later on with some cash rather than failing to deliver on a promise. Lastly, when recruiting volunteers for your projects, do not be arrogant. If this is your first film and you think that it's somehow going to just absolutely explode and take off and be this extremely crazy, revolutionary thing that's going to absolutely transform the lives of everyone who helped out with your project, you could definitely be wrong. Just like every filmmaker who has become successful, it is important to start small. Start within your means. Work your way up slowly, and over time, build your reputation, your network, your community, your experience, and grow as a filmmaker. You don't become a really amazing, successful filmmaker overnight. It takes years, if not decades, of hustle and hard work. So it's important to start small and work within your means. Asking for volunteers and free labor can be a very tricky and touchy subject, so it's very important to make sure that you do so in a delicate way. Always be honest and transparent. Always be upfront with what your goals and expectations are. Always be appreciative of the people who do help you out. It's important to make sure that you find ways to provide real value to those who are helping you out so that they can walk away with some kind of benefit for them as well, so that it's not just a one-sided process. Doing those things will help you to have not only a better project and a better time making the project, but it will also help you down the road to have an even bigger and better crew for your next project. I hope that this episode has helped you to learn some best practices when it comes to recruiting volunteers and free labor for your film projects. Thanks for watching Filmmaker for Noobs.